welcome back to this first game here in the second half of the Women's World Championship. And we are well underway. 14 moves have been played. I think both players are out of their theory books. And of course, I'm here with Sasha, who's giving us wonderful insights into Vladivostok, yes.
Forest and Federal University.
Vladivostok and Russian history as well. So that's absolutely great. I think we're going to have a quick look now at the previous games that have been played. We're halfway through, so let's see what happened. So as we see, the match is tied, currently tied 3-all. And what we there have been some patterns which we have seen with Goryachkina creating more chances, and she is exceedingly determined, even grimly determined. She wants to squeeze anything she can get out of a position, which is good policy, by the way. So as we can see, the first 3 games of the match were drawn, and then Ju went ahead, actually seizing the lead in the 4th round. But Goryachkina came back strongly in the 5th, equalizing the score, and she was pressing again in the 6th. That actually had quite reasonable chances to. Well, she had a very significant advantage, and maybe even some real winning chances there in that. So, my judgment is that the psychological advantage belongs to Goryachkina, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, does it? It's 3 each. And it doesn't matter. I mean, like in football, you can be the opposition can have the possession of the ball, most of the possession. Mm-hmm. But then if you score the goal, it simply doesn't matter, because the scoring is the only thing that counts.
Yes.
Not controlling the ball in the middle of the field,
but the result.
Yeah. So I'm just having my earpiece fixed, which is giving me some problems. It keeps falling out. Yeah. Bishop e6 has been played here. When you look at these players, Sasha, don't you feel like don't you feel like a veteran? Because the other Alexandra is younger.
Than she's younger than me.
Yeah.
And actually, that's very exciting. Then a lot of champions in chess and even grandmasters, they're really young, really young. And our today's player are also very young. I'm sure Sasha is 21, and I'm not sure about Wenzhong. How old is she? So unfortunately, I don't know.
28, I think. I'm not. I think she's 28.
But still,
that's
pretty young.
Not exactly ancient. She's not got one foot in the coffin at 28.
Well,
No.
yeah, so,
she's in the prime of her life. You know?
so that's why I feel kind of old, yeah, because like people are world champions on this age, but
yeah,
and that's great.
yeah. So let's just keep up with those moves. Bishop e6 was played. That is a developing move. Simple developing move there. And yeah, that's a question. Oh, I see Jew is can't decide whether it's hot
Or cold.
or cold. She's plonked her knight back onto f3, which is fair enough. This may look a bit strange. To some people, it may look strange because a few moves ago, Harry the horse, if we look here, Harry the horse moved to d2. We go on a few moves, and Harry the horse comes back. I understand you call them horses, don't you, in Russian?
So like when we play chess, we call them horse, like in Russian, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. I like to call them horses. So the thing is that the white, the knight accomplished her task, which was freeing up this f-pawn. And we now see that, you know, with the exchange, the white rook is well placed on the on this half-open file, half-open f file. So, job completed, mission accomplished, as George W. Bush once said. And now the knight can come back. So there is a disparity between the forces here. In let's consider the imbalance. So first thing we should observe and notice is the black possesses the bishop pair. So this is considered to be a slight advantage to have the bishop pair as opposed to bishop and knight. So, you know, the pieces have approximately even value, but normally people would give they would have a preference for the bishops. However, let's look at now, consider white's advantages. First of all, black has doubled pawns, double c pawns. That's not catastrophic by any means. And rook d8 has now just been played. But white has another thing a little bit in her favour, in that she has more central pawns. In general, you want to control the centre, and so she's got two central pawns, whereas black doesn't have any central pawns. So that's probably a slight, very, very slight advantage for white to have that control. So rook d8 has been played, and maybe those tiny differences, you know, the bishop pair on the one hand, where as opposed to the you know, double pawns and, you know, white's extra control in the center, they probably more or less cancel each other out. It's probably about equal, I would say. And if I were to predict a move for white here, I would say a very, very typical idea is, especially when you're not 100% sure what to do, is just to tuck your king into the corner with king h1. Because at the moment, the king is...
open.
Yeah, exposed. A little bit on that diagonal. There's not going to be a checkmate anytime soon, but sometimes there can be tactical possibilities, a sudden check, unexpected check, and you can get into trouble. So, if you're not sure what to do, put the king into safety. Just tuck it away in the corner. King h1. That's a very
safe position.
Safe, yeah, good idea.
It's kind of life hacks for amateur players in chess.
Well, it's not only for amateur players. It's for grandmasters as well. I mean, actually, this is basically how very strong players
do.
They operate as well. You're trying to improve. Very often, you're trying to improve your worst placed piece, if we look at the position in front of us, the white bishop is well placed. The knight is well placed. It's sort of controlling the centre. The other knight is quite well placed.
It's still there.
The rook is on an open file. The queen is not absolutely on the best position yet, but it's not clear where it should go. And it's also not clear where the other rook should go. So what we do know is that the king is slightly exposed there. So I would just
move,
put it in the corner, and see what my opponent is doing. There's another possibility here. It's quite funny because they've just put your name up on the screen there, and I'm certain that those people who've just joined the broadcast, and it's quite early actually in Europe, in particular, they are going to be Googling your name, trying to find you in the rating database to see whether you're a grandmaster or not. But I should point...
That's going to be a complicated task for them.
I should just say that Sasha very, very kindly just agreed to join me at the last moment. And she is a student here at the university, and she's wonderful company and keeping me inspired.
Thank you so much. Not the grandmaster.
So, how about that? What move did she play? King h1.
Oh.
You see, my powers of prediction.
They are great.
I can play like a grandmaster.
Oh, probably.
That's because I am a grandmaster. So, yeah, good move. So our audience is deserting us right now. I just mentioned we have a very small audience here in this broadcasting room, but they've got things to do. So now we're looking for a plan for black. And I think one of the things that black actually would like to do is to advance on the queen side. So black would, general plan is maybe to kind of ram this pawn up the board to break up that sort of center. And I mentioned earlier that the double pawns, they are, they can be a weakness. So it's sometimes good to exchange them.
Yeah.
Get rid of them. But there is a problem with that. There's a tactical flaw with that plan that should this happen, c5, then white can advance in the center, and that will cause major problems because Bertie the bishop has suddenly run out of squares. So that would be a very serious error for black. And therefore, I would suggest that a reasonable plan would be the following: to play f6. That gives control on this e5 square, central square, and then black can go back to this plan of maybe ramming the pawn up the board. The key thing actually from black's perspective is that you notice that she has placed her two rooks on these half-open files. I say half-open because white's pawns are, that's why they're half-open and not completely open. White's pawns are in the way. But and therefore, black may want to sort of blast open these lines if possible. These are the sort of strategic plans that you might look for here. Life hacks.
I should write them down.
I like that. Yeah, chess hacks. These are. Yeah.
No hacking, just reasonable advices.
Yeah. Great. So, what has she done? She played. What did she do? She played the move, something else, completely different. Bishop g4. Right. Now this is an interesting choice because I think it's actually got a similar strategic idea to the previous variation, in that maybe she wants to crack open the center, and I think that she's perhaps planning to play f5 now that she got the bishop out of the way, sort of opening that, or at least freeing up the e file. She might want to play f5. We're looking for plans because these are the sort of things that that make sense in this position. I don't like that one so much. I don't consider it to be a bad move by any means, but perhaps white can simply play h3 or just ask the question, are you going to take my knight or not? You know.
That is.
And, you know, we've spoken about the advantage of the two bishops. Well, if black captures, she's going to lose the advantage of the two bishops. So that is a question. On the other hand, the counter argument is that the bishop on g3 would be a little bit unprotected there. You're removing one of the protectors. It's still protected by the queen, so it's not a blunder by any means, but it just makes it a little bit looser. So, if you ever thought about studying law or anything like that, you know, law, would you be interested in law or not really?
So I kind of had different ideas when I was in high school what I'm supposed to do. I was thinking about studying journalism, about studying law, and like a lot of different things. But actually, I end up studying international relations.
International relations, yeah. International affairs, I know all about those. Very interesting subject. And in your very few years of existence, you've got to travel a little bit, I understand.
Yeah, like that's not so many countries as you visited, definitely. So yeah, like I'm doing Model UN, like Model United Nations, and here I'm leading local NGO called Model United Nations of the Russian Far East, which is based, like one branch is based in Vladivostok in our Far Eastern Federal University, and another one is based in my like native region, Amur region, and like also based in
which is not that far from here.
Not that far, yes, just 1 day by train.
1 day by train.
Yeah, that's not
counts,
far.
that counts as being close. In Russia, that's very close, you know. Normally, if you're in Britain and you say it's 1 day by, well, you can't go anywhere 1 day by train, you know.
Across the Europe.
You've gone, yeah, that's it. You have to take the tunnel to get the rail tunnel to travel 1 day by train. Yeah.
So yeah, and I've been participating in organizing different events related to Model UN here in Russia and abroad. And I've been to the United States 3 times, and I've been to
which cities?
So I've been to New York, like all 3 times. Also been to Washington once, and one time me and my friends decided to have a road trip, and we've been traveling for a while. So like that was also a real pleasant experience. And also I've been to China twice, once to Japan and once to Korea, like Republic of Korea.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So like. Traveling is really good. It broadens your mind.
It certainly does. It certainly does. So, but you've not been to North Korea.
No, not unfortunately not. But I would love to. Like that's really interesting.
Yeah, and it's just a train journey. It's not that far on the train, so you just got to be careful with the missiles from here, don't you? And stray missiles. But
I'm not afraid.
Actually, it's very interesting that in FIDE we have a large governing body. Yeah, I mean we've got 191 member federations, and
can imagine how
North Korea is an omission from that number. So I would love to bring North Korea into FIDE. But I need some brave volunteer to go with me.
We actually can advertise this opportunity for chess ambassador to North Korea, probably.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I was in Seoul last year, actually in Pyeongchang, where they had the Winter Olympics. And of course, we also spoke about North Korea. There is some chess in North Korea, not a lot of it, but you find chess absolutely everywhere in the world. That's what I've discovered with my travels.
So, if to speak about your travels, what are the brightest impression? Like, I think it's kind of difficult to find only one bright impression because you've visited more than 100 countries, but maybe you have some,
120,
I'm sorry, but maybe you have something appearing on your mind, like some, I don't know.
Do you know, I have enjoyed most of the places I have visited. I mean, don't enjoy them equally. You know, there are some places that are more...
That's just personal.
Yeah. Very few countries I've been to where I felt, no, I don't want to go back to. But I've been to Libya twice, and I thought, no, I honestly do not mind if I never visit Libya again in the rest of my life. It doesn't bother me. You know, I'm in no hurry to book my return ticket to go there. But most places I've been to, I've really enjoyed. And last year I had some great trips around the Caribbean. Actually brought in a number of four new chess federations into FIDE.
Wow.
So I was going to Grenada and St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, and so on, and it was lovely. I mean, great. I absolutely adored this, and no, I mean the point you know we just mentioned on. You find chess everywhere. I remember it very much. The people who were telling me that there is no chess in Grenada. There is no chess. It doesn't exist. And then you go along for this meeting at the National Olympic Committee, and well, first of all, they've offered their facilities for the chess. We had over 50 people there in the room. I gave an exhibition against 25 opponents. You know, they agreed to start a federation there immediately, and it's funny. At some point, you know, somebody gets up and says, you know, I'm running a chess club. And, you know, everyone looks around in amazement, you know, that there is some chess activity. Yeah. And then somebody else stands up and says, yeah, I'm running a chess club. You know, and it suddenly emerged there were 3 chess clubs, which is already a lot more than none, you know. And it shows that, you know, people love the game. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what backgrounds, that you know, at all. Age doesn't matter whether you're handicapped or not. You know, it's a game that unites people, and
that's true.
Another thing I like about it is how chess is a game that is simultaneously ancient and modern.
It never gets old. Like,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, it's like 1,500 years old, and there was, you know, they had professional chess players in the Abbasid Caliphate of Baghdad more than 1,000 years ago, and at the same time, you know, we've got this very ancient board game that. We'll come back to this move in a minute when I've just finished. You know, here we are sitting in the studio looking at this on laptops, and you know, and using engines to analyze this, thinking about this. So it's a game that you can play online.
That's true.
You go online and you suddenly find, you can be playing somebody in
From different country, like from
Argentina or
Yeah.
Germany or wherever, in a matter of seconds. That's the beauty of it. So, yeah, I'm good with I didn't get bishop g4. I didn't predict that, but h3 has been. H3 was played, attacking the bishop, and she took after a little bit of thought. And so that's goodbye to the bishop pair. There's only a single bishop remaining. So I'm not so sure that bishop f3 is really what I would have wanted to do. I would tend to play even to retreat that, maybe. I mean, although perhaps you didn't need to do that. I would just get it out of the way. Sometimes it's okay just to tuck your bishop away and wait for a more favourable opportunity to bring it out. But she's gone for simplification. Bishop f3 takes. And now, what is going to happen? There is a danger. There is a danger of drift in these type of positions that black really needs to get some sort of grip in the center. Otherwise, you may find that white suddenly starts piling up down this F file, tripling the pieces. 2 rooks and a queen, could be piling down that F file. Maybe, possibly. There's so I'm not 100% happy with the black position. I just think it's slightly easier for the reigning world champion to play. Just moves are, easier. I should just point out that, most of this commentary, nearly all of it, is actually done without using an engine. I have an engine running on the side there just to check there is no, very sharp variations. But this is a more strategic game, so there are not great combinations that are available. It's a slow strategic game, and because I'm a slow person myself, I like that, the slow ideas. Okay. I'm just getting a little suggestion in my earpiece, and it was talking about taking with the pawn, with the, there's a general principle that one should advance towards the capture towards the center with your pawns. I would not even consider such a move, which is actually why I didn't comment on it, because even a move like bishop f4 is quite good. That is blocking the position and preventing white from advancing. So rook takes f3 is much more natural. Now this response, this rook d7, could that? I'm trying to wondering what exactly is the point of that, and I can only think that is a defensive move, defending laterally the f pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm a very primitive player. I would just I would prefer to just to plonk the pawn here, where it's also protected. Why use a rook to defend a pawn when you can use a pawn to defend a pawn? It's more efficient to do that. So, you should use the minimum force to prop prop something up. Then you can use your big pieces, your heavy pieces for something more valuable. But I don't know. Maybe she's got. Maybe there's another idea. Maybe there is another intention. And I've got to ask you, by the way, I know you've got your exam. Now, what time is your exam?
It's after 5, I guess in 5:30. So
you get to you're getting close to the edge.
I'm getting close.
We're going to have a break in 10 minutes and give you
me a chance
to escape and it would be a great pity with all this study you're doing here that it would be ruined by an English commentator, and you failed everything as a result of it. So we'll have a short break in a few minutes. So there's another idea just to come back to that. Maybe the rook could come this way, combined with c5. It's all a bit, maybe black wants to make creeping moves. I think one of these creeping moves would be, in a minute, to just put the queen on this square, on e6. I think that's more, gives a little more harmony to the black position, because the queen is at the center of a crossroads there. And it's blocking the action of the bishop, sort of impeding the action of the rook, and also the other rook and the knight. So in fact it's occupying a square that all of black's pieces can move to. So if the queen moves out of the way, it means it gives extra flexibility. Any one of those pieces can suddenly, if need be, occupy that square. So those are other little life hacks. We use the word hacker in English, and we say this person is a hacker. It means they very often that they play without sophistication. That's another use of that particular word. So, do you think, Sasha, that you may be encouraged to take up chess a little bit? I mean, of course, once you finish your exams, after this international experience, you think you might be encouraged to give it a look?
I guess I can, because that's really interesting to see how you're given your comments and interpretations, and kind of applying different strategies, how in the same composition, different moves can be
Yeah.
made, and that's really interesting. So, like, strategy is important for
Yeah,
every person, even in life. Like, then you can
absolutely.
practice it on the chessboard. That's even amazing.
Yeah. So now rook f5 has happened. Maybe a little bit premature. Not sure I like that move. I'm expecting queen e6, as I said, in response. Maybe one of the ideas was that it's a bit anticipatory in that black may bring the knight to e5 or something, which would attack. Oops, sorry, I can't draw my arrows properly. Would attack this rook, and maybe just black is. White is just saying, all right, I can see you're probably going to attack, so I'll get it out of the way to begin with. That maybe that. So the pattern, which I mentioned, I'm now looking at the board and the time, and the pattern which we have had of the previous games of Zhu Wenjun steadily falling behind on the clock has not happened here. Goryachkina, I don't think, not that she's made any terrible mistake or anything, I don't think this type of position suits her as much as some of the other positions that we've seen in this match. I mean, she's played okay, but I don't think she feels it very, very finely, what is required. It's not, again, it's not such a big deal. B6, I think one of the reasons for that is to anticipate an attack on the A pawn, because the next move, I talked about queen coming to f2, but when the queen comes to f2, now that diagonal has been blocked. So, are you a Harry Potter fan by any chance?
I would not say I'm a fan. Like, I
Yeah,
enjoy...
did you read any of these books? You know, because they have that diagon alley in you know, in Harry Potter. So we have a Prince Harry at the moment, and
Yes, I know.
so the Russian government resigned last night, didn't it? Yeah, we can offer you, as you no longer have the Romanovs, we can offer you Prince Harry and Meghan if you want.
To the government.
We'll let you have the British monarchy. Is that a fair swap?
As far as I remember, they are planning to live in Britain and United States.
Yeah, I think
Russia was not on their list, so...
Yeah, they're going to Canada, I think.
Oh, right?
It's Canada, yeah, Britain and Canada.
Oh.
They said North America, but Canada is it's Commonwealth. Meghan, she was working in Toronto.
Oh, right.
You know, and the nice thing is that when Harry goes to Canada, he looks at the money, the Canadian dollars, and he sees his grandmother on the on the money, so he doesn't feel so alien, you know.
Probably.
Okay, exciting times in Russian politics, and I was discussing that with Arkady a little bit last night. Over the odd glass of wine. It had to be in red. So, knight e2. The point of knight e2 is actually that white is looking to plonk a knight on this square. This is the ideal square for a knight. So if bishop takes bishop, the knight can come here, and then it's getting closer to coming to its optimum position. So I think she just decided that on c3, the knight doesn't have that many options, possibilities, and so therefore she'll bring this over. There was another way of getting there. There are different routes. Knight d1 and then knight e3 might have been a better approach. I mean, could be. But we've got some moves. I'll tell you why knight e1 and knight e3 could have been a better approach. That after c5, from this square, the knight covers c4, and we've just seen the last move. Black is advancing this pawn. I don't know whether you recall, but earlier on in the game, I said this may be a plan for black to ram this pawn down the board to break up white's center. So I think this knight e2 perhaps is a little bit careless, very, very slightly careless move, not the most precise. It's very easy for me to, I'm sitting here in a comfortable studio, making criticisms, and there they are.
That's less stressful than the situation they have.
They're sitting there under, hot lights. They're fighting for their, the highest title in women's chess, and it's a really tough match. So I make these comments, and whether I'm right or not, I don't have to suffer the consequences of what I say, So it's very, very easy. But this, as I said in an interview earlier, that this is a match of fine margins, and I think that was an imprecision on the part of Ju Wenjun. Yeah. So I think it's definitely time, Sasha, for you to run along to your exam now, which is coming up any minute. Thank you so much for being with me. It's been a tremendous pleasure to have you here in the studio, and I hope you will be inspired.
Definitely.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
And with that, we'll take a very short break, and I will be joined by somebody new. Welcome back to the game, and we have been exchanging queens. I'm joined by Etteri from the press officer of the Russian Chess Federation.
Right, Nigel. It's my great honor to be here with you, actually, because it's just music to my ears to listen to your comments, but it's just incredible luck to be here, really.
And as you'll see on the screen, that Etteri has this wonderful Georgian name, but this is because, of course, Georgian women are great chess players. But it's a bit of a fraud, isn't it? Because you don't even speak Georgian.
Unfortunately, I don't.
Yeah.
But not so easy, I think.
But your father is Georgian.
Yes, my father is Georgian. You're right. Quite right, Nigel. But Georgian should live in Georgia to speak Georgian.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose in Moscow it's not such a...
Not the best place to study Georgian language, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
great. So tell me, what's happening in the position?
am I to tell you?
Yes,
Okay.
you are to tell me. What's...
During the break, some pieces were exchanged, as we can see.
Yep.
So now Alexandra wants to exchange her queens.
Okay, so should we just quickly run back?
Come back, yeah.
So I think
right
we saw
here.
C5 was played B3. We're not up on the screen, I think. But anyway,
B3, she wants to prevent C4, or why?
yes,
Yeah?
yes. C4 is breaking up that position, and then
So,
offering the exchange of
would you
queens.
exchange the queens if you were white in this game?
That is a very, very good question, because I think you're probably slightly better either way. I think I want to keep the queens on, but at the moment I don't see that. Maybe Queen E3.
Queen is 3.
E3. That could be a move.
Maybe,
For the
maybe.
moment. I think I would like to keep a little more tension.
Right, right.
In the position.
Being half Georgian, I absolutely agree with you, because it gives me desire to attack in this position,
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
because if you trade queens, it will be just solid.
Georgian women are very aggressive, aren't they?
It will be just a solid positional endgame, which is probably more drawish.
Yeah, I think so. And actually, that Goryachkina has, she's fixed her queen side quite well.
Right.
But in particular, the pawn on C5, which gives some more control to the position. And it will also mean that should a knight appear on E5, it will not be driven away so easily by D4.
D4. But is it possible somehow, sometime to play A4, A5?
I think that's a good question, but I would say that A4 would often be met by A5, just fixing the queen side, making
concrete.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So B4, okay. So I think that
B4 is a move that you would want to play, actually.
Yeah.
You know, B4 is what you want. It's a very, you've mentioned that very slyly, softly, that B4. But the problem is, from White's perspective, that if you are to play B4, C4 will be the reply.
Sure.
So, you know, if there is this push, this will come. So that has to be prepared.
Right.
It's a desirable goal to achieve that. Whereas, a4, a5, I just don't think you're going to get
No.
it in.
Sure.
a4 will be met by
A5 immediately.
and I think, without too much thinking. So, yeah. Tell us, we've got some comments, don't we, on the game. Tell us what the rest of the world is.
The rest of the world is speaking
thinking.
about chess. Can you imagine
Well,
this?
I can't believe
Really?
it. I can't
They're
believe
just speaking about rook e5, rook takes c5.
it. Yeah.
And Nigel, there is a question to you.
Oh, right.
Maybe not to you, but about you.
Oh, right. Okay,
Did
go on.
anyone notice that Duda facial expressions are like Nigel's? Duda.
No, I haven't noticed that at all.
Me
actually.
either. Me neither.
No.
Yeah.
He's quite a
So-
bit. He's quite a bit younger than me. Yeah.
But maybe just.
Yeah. No. Excellent player, by the way.
Sure, and he is
Yes.
progressing with each event, I think.
Yeah.
no?
Yeah. Do you know what his rating is at the moment? He's pretty.
I
pretty
think
high.
that
Poland,
he is somewhere in
big.
the top 15 or top 20 maybe.
Yeah.
No, not top 20. I may be mistaken in this
But
because
he's high at
yeah,
the moment.
he is top 1 in Poland, I think. Yes, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I played him actually.
And what's the result?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't beat him because he was already pretty strong when I played him, and I was close. And against those players, with my waning powers, you basically have to beat them the first time, because they're getting better all the time, and I'm just getting worse. It was like, many years ago, I played against Grischuk. And I absolutely crushed him.
Was it a toy with him?
He was still in short pants. Anyway, I completely crushed him in Reykjavik, and I've been very careful to try and avoid him since then. Although I did actually play him at the Isle of Man, but I just about escaped with a draw. So that's the way. You get them when they're young, and then you run for it.
Then you boast about it.
You
all
boast
the
about
time.
it. Exactly.
Right.
Quite right. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
and I remember actually young Krzysztof Duda from his early childhood, because he came to Moscow from time to time to play in these team events like Vladimir Dvorkovich Memorial in Moscow.
Yeah.
So he played for the Polish team, and he was a great talent then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was
Yeah.
about maybe 10, maybe 11 years old. So I remember his name from these days.
Yes.
So-
Yes. Yeah. No, he's very, very good.
Actually, she took on h4.
Yeah, I think Queen E3 was the right move. I think I said Queen E3, didn't
Of
I?
course.
Yeah, I
Of
did.
course you did.
And now I just I've glanced over, and the engine seems to like Queen E3 as well. So
yeah, it
but
does.
we didn't need that. We didn't need an engine.
Of course.
We just used our brains.
Sure. Because
And
it's intellectual sport.
It is an intellectual sport. So we used our brains, and we used our judgment.
So why do you think she chose to trade the queens?
She probably didn't feel that she had a good square. Well, actually, E3 was the only good square.
Maybe for some reason she didn't like knight e4. Maybe knight e5. Sorry,
So show us.
I don't know, but
Yeah, but it doesn't do anything. It's no big deal.
right.
So Queen E3, Knight E5 could be played, and there's a sort of vague idea of Knight G4, but it's not doing anything.
Yeah, so-
I was thinking in the same way, but it's not.
maybe now Black Knight is a bit misplaced. Maybe that
It
was
is.
the idea.
Well, look, it is very slightly misplaced. However, it can come back.
Of course.
And that's not.
It can go to E5.
And in fact, I think it should
So,
should come back. So,
so-
so what do they say about that? I mean, in general, they say a knight on the rim is dim. So the knight
It's
is
going back.
the knight is looking dim, was looking dim, and it's come back. Job completed, and it's coming back, centralizing. And I don't think black need to be too concerned here. I don't think, if I had this position, I wouldn't feel under great pressure.
pressure. I think that it's very dry now. Or are there some discrete chances?
Well, I think there are certain things, that white very typically tries to do in such positions. That white often wants to play g4.
G4.
Yeah. And to make an expansion on the king side, because you can take some space without any risk. I mean, the queens have come off, so g4 can be played.
G4 is needed.
Yeah, I think not only is it desirable on an offensive way, it's also a little bit defensive as well, because sometimes black may be able to get in a break like f5.
5.
Not just yet. I mean, I'm
course,
talking
of course.
hypothetically, but this is an anticipatory move if you do that.
Sure.
G4. So.
G4.
And maybe it's a good idea to come back to your original suggestion, actually, that earlier you said, why not a4?
Why not A4?
And the reason I like a4 now is that I probably would prefer to fix the queen side, and then to advance on the king side, where I think my plays can be unimpeded. It's not easy for black to
Break through
play on that side of the board. She's got knight c3.
Knight C3.
They're slow positions, and it doesn't matter that much. I probably would not have done that.
But now she protects E4, so maybe again, B4 is possible. Of course, now it won't be met by C4. But
maybe this is her idea.
Maybe she wants to try her opponent by playing knight b5, just to see where the pawn will go.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm going to make another assessment here. I think black should be looking to put the knight on d4. So a typical routing for this would be this way, to come to d4, and from the d4 square then she would be bearing down on c2, in particular, also b3. And in fact there is an incidental advantage to that, is that you can, once the knight is on e6, you're actually defending your c pawn.
Right.
So it's not a bad way to play.
Yes, and but isn't that too slow? in this
I don't think
position.
I don't think it's too slow.
There is nowhere to hurry.
Well, yeah, it's no need. There is no need to hurry. I mean, obviously, you shouldn't faff around too much. Because you don't want white to play g4 and king h2 and king g3 and h4 and g5 and rook h, because you'll suddenly find yourself in huge trouble if you give your opponent half a dozen consecutive moves with but with some planless play, then you're going to get it into you'll drift into difficulties. But I like that. I don't think that's particularly slow at all. I'll tell you something strange. Once your knight is on e6, after b4, b takes c5. So let's have a look at a variation.
Yes. And Alexandra.
I'll tell you the funny thing is that after this you can even take with the pawn. Because you use your c-pawn as a battering ram with c4. And after even knight here, you can then play c4.
Are you not afraid of white taking b file?
Not particularly, because what the move earlier, you mean?
She made a move,
She played
and
knight.
it's knight f8.
Yeah. No, it's not knight f8, it's knight e5. So,
your idea is more positional, right? And Alexander.
I'm very positional. No, knight e5 is a positional move. I just think the other one is maybe even more positional. So, yeah, I mean, these are the two ways of playing it.
But what is knight doing on e5?
I think it's going to c6 and to d4.
Oh, maybe.
So maybe it comes.
Maybe just protecting f7.
Maybe it's the same. Maybe it's the same sort of thing, really. Knight c6 and knight d4.
Maybe she just wants to grab some space.
Yeah.
Alexandra is a very good positional player.
Do you know what they say about space?
No.
Space, the final frontier.
No doubt about it. And yesterday
do you watch Star Trek? No. Okay. Right. That was a bit
yesterday
lost.
You said about
yeah.
Vladivostok that it's the end of the world for you. Maybe it's the
It
final
is.
frontier. Nigel.
Well, it's very funny because actually, where are the last horizons, for chess, for expansion? Antarctica.
Yes.
Antarctica. And I feel that in Vladivostok, I'm in training for Antarctica.
It's not that cold.
I actually, I already, because my little claim to fame, don't you, with continents. Did you know that? That I'm the only chess player ever to have won tournaments in 6 continents. And I'm missing one.
I said I'm very honored to sit with you.
Yeah. And I'm missing one. So
there should be something.
Yeah. And strangely enough, I had an email today on the subject of a tournament in Antarctica.
My God.
I'm not joking.
I'm afraid who is organizing?
No, this was a guy in the United States. We had some, so just an idea that has come up. And I am not joking about having a tournament in Antarctica. I have even discussed it with the FIDE president. That I think we should do that. It's got to be rated. It's got to
make
be
an expedition.
It's got to be FIDE rated. So you've got to have an arbiter there and submit the thing for for rating. And I've also had discussions whilst I was in India last year, and we were talking about possibilities for financing this expedition to Antarctica to play chess. But I've got to go. I think I've got to take 3 people with me, not too strong, because I'm not going to get that many opportunities to play tournaments there. They shouldn't, they've got to know how the pieces move, but they shouldn't be like super strong. And I've done a lot of planning on this. You're laughing at this, but I've already got one person who wants to go with me, and I'm afraid I'm really getting very nervous that she's too strong.
Of course.
Tanya Sachdev, So I'm going to have to be playing well to win this. But she said, Nigel, you're completely nuts. Count me in. I'm coming. You're absolutely insane. But I'd like to come. So we're thinking about it. We've got a sort of 2-year time frame because it's not that easy to, it's not that easy to arrange events in Antarctica. But that's what we're thinking about.
Yeah.
So there are discussions and so on. Maybe we could have some at. You've got some Russian bases there, haven't you? We have a British. We got a British base. There are loads of countries that have bases there. India has a base.
Let's check.
Chile, lots of places. Australia, of course, many.
Yeah.
So we need to get the permission. So if there's anybody watching this broadcast from Antarctica, and then do get in touch, do let us know.
Yes, David Quinn, for example. He said that he will go. And he's going to beat you.
All right, okay.
Very nice, Nigel. You just
sorry, I like that idea.
you advertise this idea to the public.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to do it. Yeah.
That will be a total expansion of chess.
It
right?
will. There were some plans. I recall. There were some plans a few years ago, but anyway, it hasn't happened. Of course, chess has been played in the Antarctic, but there hasn't been an official tournament. I'm sure they've been playing, decades ago on the scientific basis. Somebody will have been playing chess. Probably quite a lot of people have been.
There was space chess in space.
Yeah, chess in space.
Yes,
Yeah.
It was in the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So we have this exhibit in the Chess Museum. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen that. What's that? What do you have?
This is a chessboard which was used to play in space for spacemen.
There is
Yes.
well, hang on a second. There was an exhibit. Which game is this?
Game?
Because
they were playing Space and Land.
There was Earth to
Earth space. Right,
yeah.
right.
But that was
Sebastianov.
Yeah. Okay. But there is another one, which there is a Velcro chess set, which is in the NASA Space Center in Houston. I saw it last year, so I've seen the exact thing. So I'm all in favour of that, but we need to get the penguins playing. Penguins should definitely be encouraged to play chess. Okay, we've got some moves.
We have many moves.
We've got a lot of moves. So it's the same idea. She's got there via another route. Yeah.
So then A4, A5, A4,
Yeah.
Knight C6.
You know what's the problem with doing it this way?
What?
Well, there isn't actually a serious problem. That if you go Knight D5, sorry, knight d4 is not that brilliant because it's not that easy. Well, actually, you can try and break with f5. It's exactly what I said a while ago. Didn't I say f5 is
F5 is a threat. So G4.
Yeah, then g4. But you see, the problem is it's not that easy to evict Harry the horse on d5. Harry the horse, yeah, he's there. Because of the
b6.
b6 is...
If I play rook b8, is it too passive?
It can be considered. It can be considered. So, you know, let's have a look. Let's try and make some moves.
Right.
Vaguely plausible moves. Rook b8 is with an idea.
With a transparent idea of playing c6.
Okay. King g2.
c6.
c6. Now, the problem with this is that Harry the horse comes back here. And after, let's say, a move, let's just play f6 for the moment, knight comes to c4, where it exerts that pressure against your queen side. So you've got to be a little bit careful about these pawn pushes.
Yes, because it's
Yeah.
weakening.
Yeah.
So, but I don't see any direct way to make my pressure stronger. Just
We advance on the king side.
we advance on the king side.
We use the knight to tie down the black forces,
Yes.
and we push with a minority attack.
Minority attack on the king side.
So, yeah,
Usually,
I mean, we'd see, normally you think of the Queen's
Queen
Gambit,
side, yes.
Queen's Gambit, and you think of a minority attack. But there we've got 2 against 3 on the
2 against 3.
and we use the G pawn as a battering ram to smash open the position. What do people think? Do we have some comments?
We have some comments. Somebody likes both of us.
Oh, great.
Yes.
That's great.
And one spectator suggests to activate the king, the black king. I don't know in which position, maybe in this one, or maybe in the position in the game.
Yeah, so what did we have? The knight...
Knight
is,
d4, knight c6, knight c6.
Yeah, I've got completely confused. What did we have here? I've lost the track of the moves.
It was like this.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
I'm not sure if she played knight d5 at this position. It was our guess,
Right,
I
okay.
think, right?
Yeah. But I think knight d5 can be met by... Often you can play knight b4, which is not so...
Which is quite unpleasant, actually.
Yeah.
But maybe knight c3, knight c6, knight c3, knight c6, knight d5, knight d4, knight
yeah.
b4, I mean.
No. So,
But it would be logical in this position, no?
yeah, you could also just take it. Why not take it?
Knight take with c pawn.
Yeah, you could do that.
And it's a wilderness of a rook endgame.
It's an interesting description. A wilderness.
Yes, for me it is.
It's a wilderness. It looks more like a wildebeest to me. I feel on the plains of Africa, the Serengeti, a wildebeest. Yeah. So, yeah. The position is.
She made a move.
The king is
King
coming.
G2.
Yeah.
Activate the king.
Yeah. So that didn't. I think she's not in a hurry to commit her knight to the d5 square. So for this reason, Well, I don't know what's
Not
happening.
this one, I think.
Yeah, you know how to operate these things.
Let's try. So it was this?
King G2.
King G2. Yes,
Oh, right,
this is
okay.
the game.
And then knight B4.
Knight before
Yeah.
played.
Why don't we get that as the main line here? I don't know why that's... Yeah. It's all very strange. Yeah.
But
So knight B4 prevents knight D5. The knight on B4 exerts this pressure.
right. The queen side seems to be cemented.
Yeah,
Somehow.
it does. It does. It does. So it's clear that the action should be on the other side of the board.
Right. So do you think that G4 will be played? Or
Yeah, I think those moves start to make a lot of...
G4 or maybe rook
Yeah.
somewhere?
No, I think G4 is good. I think G4 is good. I think White just has an easy plan, you know.
Push.
Pushkin.
Pushkin.
Yeah.
He's my favorite writer, by the way.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was good, wasn't he?
Right. You know only translations. Actually, my diploma in the university was
Really?
about translation of Eugene Onegin into
Really?
different languages.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, very
The best one was the English one, of course. Of course.
Very glad to hear it. I don't know too much about him. I did actually read a biography on Pushkin, which was excellent. Really, I learned a lot. And I also learned, one of the things that stuck in my mind, you know, because, you know, I write very, very slowly.
Right, you mean type?
Yeah, no, I mean, not the typing. I mean, it's when I write an article for magazines or whatever.
Ah, it takes a lot of time
I
for
take
you.
a lot of time. You know, I write a word, a sentence, and then I kind of juggle it around, and then I take this time. And what it said, this biography, when you read Pushkin and you see his poetry there, that it appears completely effortless. You know,
It's
flows.
very light.
You know, it's there. It flows so beautifully.
It's harmonic.
Yeah, all of that. And, you know, and then you would see his manuscripts, and there would be like not a word that's crossed out. You know, has been crossed out. So, you know, it was really worked very, very hard. Anyway, Pushkin time.
And she makes it.
She made Pushkin G4. That's right.
So one person suggests to lock the king side with H6 and F6.
Yeah, that is possible, but it doesn't stop H4 and G5. So it doesn't.
But it looks like a provocation, you know, F6, H6.
Yeah. Well, it's not that stupid, but whoever it was who said that, apologies. You know, you're not that stupid. I mean, it's something I would consider myself. You know, maybe I'm stupid as well. But H6. But once G5 comes, it starts to, you know, smash open the king side.
Of course,
So that's the issue.
Rook E5.
Rook E5, that makes a lot of sense, because I think actually Black wants to take active measures. H5. You know, I think Black, if possible, should play H5 and then F6, and at least Black is dictating the position more on that side of the board. So this makes perfect sense to me that this has been played.
H4? Possible?
H4 is possible.
Or is it too sharp?
H4, F6, and then H5.
H5.
You know, you might not be in time.
Right, and C2 is hanging if
Yeah.
I play rook F5, so
Yeah.
no
yeah,
way.
Yeah. The standard way to play in these positions has to be said. The standard way is often the best. Where do you want your knight? Tell us.
I would like to see my knight somewhere on the king side, actually.
You like to where? Just tell me where's your
I
dream
think that
destination?
I like E3, F5,
Yeah,
somewhere there.
yeah, somewhere around there. But the most flexible square to begin with is E3,
E3, yes.
and from E3, the knight performs all sorts of functions. In particular,
Defending.
it defends this pawn on C2. Might want to come to C4. That would be more a tactical thing, and it might want to come to C4, particularly if black plays C6. Definitely, it would want to come there.
Sure.
But also, because I know you are an aggressive Georgian woman. I'm very nervous.
Okay.
When you want to come to F5 for an attack. So, you know what I feel?
But
I feel it's kind of one-way pressure. Do you know what I mean?
Here?
Yeah.
No.
You don't.
So it's only white is pushing for something.
I think it's a lot easier for white, yeah.
But you need two tempi to take to E3.
Well, okay.
Do we
well,
have so many?
Yeah, I'll play knight D1.
91. So something like F6, H5.
Doesn't matter. H5 is not even effective then, because the knight also defends on G4. It's just the ideal square.
She played it.
Yes.
We have
Because
91.
she's strong.
She's a world champion.
She's yeah. That it's not completely by accident that she's world champion.
But
Yeah.
sorry, I just keep forgetting from where the knight moved to C3.
From E2.
From it, yes, right. So now we have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think she's been slightly faffing around a bit, because I thought much earlier on she should have played her knight to D1. I didn't like that knight E2, and then she's sort of gone back. And now it's like she's found the right path. It's a slightly slow position, so
But it's
you
full
know,
of.
does it matter that much?
It's full of nuances.
Yeah.
What's the best suggestion for black here? The F6 or what? King somewhere.
I would play F6.
F6.
I don't know. I would also be tempted to play H5 anyway. Because yeah, I just like to do it. Like, let me make a few moves here.
Sure.
It's good. I've got my engine over here, which I'm not looking at all. So this is just a sort of plan idea type of thing here. So let's go with black H5, knight G3. Let's say I'll play F6. Then what do you want? What would you want there? You'd want rook F5 maybe.
Rook F5.
Okay, you go rook F5. I'll take it.
Take.
I'll keep that one there just for the moment. I'll put this.
Rook e7.
I don't particularly like that. The problem is that you just exert that pressure, don't you, on the center. Okay, let me go rook e7. And then you can just sort of prepare it with rook f1. So still, you know, g5 is in the air, king g3 is a good move. I was thinking, what was I thinking? I was thinking that maybe black should be looking. Let's take the damn thing. You know.
Wow, that's too sharp.
Go on, let's do it.
Of course we take the knight. Take, right?
Yeah, and then you've got rook f3.
Yes.
And you're in time. You're just in time.
And if I play here, I
Knight
just...
f2.
Knight f2.
Yeah. Still, it feels better for white.
Three pawns.
Yeah, it's 3 pawns. It's not absolutely clear.
A kingdom for a horse. My kingdom.
Yeah.
Right, so maybe that's the idea.
There was some clever Englishman who said
yes,
that.
a handsome.
Not a handsome one.
Do you mean Richard III or who?
Good.
Right, if we take.
I think you need to tell the people what happened with our translator yesterday at the opening ceremony.
What happened?
Well, I was talking about that, you know, I invited people to come along to the opening ceremony of this event. I invited people to come along to the
see
English commentary room. I said, where there is a handsome English commentator. And the translator, for some reason, he missed out the word handsome. I think he should be sacked immediately.
He just said, please come to see me. He just understand your idea.
Yeah.
That's the handsome commentator is you, of course, Nigel, so...
Yeah. I mean, I spoke to... I was deeply offended by that he missed the handsome out. And I spoke to Oleg Romanishin, and he said, but Nigel, I mean, it's completely redundant because everybody understands. You're handsome, so no need to state the obvious, you know. So
your audience understands you. So people who should understand, they did.
Okay.
So we Germans call the knight Springer. Yes, this is one of the commentaries, so don't know why. That's actually a very interesting point about the names of the pieces.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not... Okay, well, do you think maybe we can speak about it?
Yeah.
So, but let's see the current position first.
Because h5 was played.
h5. h5 here. So now, as you said, knight e3 is the best way. Well, it's the most logical, actually.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So, Springer e3.
Yeah.
Okay, and you said...
So why are we speaking German for these moves?
Well, because there was a comment about Georgia,
Yeah.
about German, not Georgia.
Yeah. do you know which is the homophobic move in German?
No.
It's gay fear. You've got it. Gay fear. That's the homophobic move in German. So anyway, you get in trouble when you make jokes like this these days. But the Springer
Springer
is springing around.
Yeah. So I think that she will just no other way. Maybe, but okay. If she played 91, so there should be
Yeah.
the something more to it. King G3 is not the best way, right?
King G3, Knight C2. King G3, Knight C2, maybe.
Knight C2, some tactics.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Here.
Yes, you give.
No, it's very dangerous. F6 and you'll get
F6,
mated.
Yeah,
So
F6 is awkward. Yeah.
Where should I go here and you just take?
I can take, or I can take
Well,
on
it's
B3.
It's
I can say-
absolutely
yeah.
losing.
Well, it's your position starts to.
Yes, and she played knight e3.
Yeah.
Well, nice tactics in such a dry position.
Well, these are things that black's got to be on the lookout for.
Always.
Yeah, and white too. You know,
White
I mean,
too.
it's possible to overlook these things. So, have we been paying any attention to the time? So, what we are?
On the 32nd move,
Yeah,
she and Jivenjun has 12 minutes, while Alexandra has
there's
got
plenty of time.
20,
so
23.
again, we've got this situation where Ju is, you know, she's steadily expended more time, and Goryachkina is getting fast in comparison to her opponent.
But
so
can we say now that White's position is
pleasant.
better?
It is better. It's easier. It's easier.
It's easier to play.
Yeah.
If you were black,
Although I don't think Ju has played this perfectly, I think she's made an astute choice in this game. She didn't really do too much with the other stuff in the Berlin, the kind of the lines that she was playing. So she's just taken the game in a different direction.
avoided
Yeah, just basically avoided those main lines with D3. And it seems that it's less to Goryachkina's style, this position. You know, without having made any, what I would call, obvious mistake, she don't know why that's happening.
Me neither.
No. F6 is not.
F6, I
It's
think.
not played on the
No,
board.
it's not played. Yes, so Goryachkina.
Yeah, she's just drifted into an inferior position. Oh, she's got knight c6. Is that it?
Yes. Actually, was it possible to sacrifice somewhere here? I mean here?
Yeah, it's possible. But I think maybe king f3 could be a good move. It might look a bit strange to self-pin. Rook d1, perhaps.
Rook d1, yes, and
Yeah. And maybe.
maybe.
Maybe, baby. I've got a feeling white ought to be better, but it's not that easy. Not that easy at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Still, she didn't play like this.
Yeah.
Alexandra is a very solid player. We
knight
know
c6.
it all.
Yeah.
So what's the idea of knight c6 actually?
Defending e5, we've been talking about that. And maybe also it's one of those things that if, let's suppose, rook f5, I like to take that. I like to inflict something. You can even consider, can you do that?
This one.
Just to try and kick it away.
So
The white is always better in these positions, and maybe even g5. Just taking some squares.
and the squares are just empty,
Yeah.
unprotected. So
Yeah, weak squares. f6, put the knight on f6, rook on h1. Somehow checkmate.
well, of course,
Am I making you nervous?
of course
That's a,
no, because actually I don't understand how. I understand that this position is much better for white.
it's better for white, yeah. How much better, I don't know.
Yes.
And I think time is not an issue, because I mean, this position, the worst that's going to happen to you is you play slightly inaccurately and you dissipate
So can we
a
say
little
that
bit of her advantage.
that there is a two-result play in this position,
Yeah,
or
I
no?
think so. Well, unless knight takes c2 happens.
Oh,
Or-
she's Givenchy is following you.
No, she
Stop
didn't
it.
take. She didn't take. We got all of that wrong.
Yes, something is happening with our board.
I have no
But-
idea why this is happening like this. King g3 was played.
King g3. Not here.
No. King
No.
93.
Let us find
Yeah,
the track here.
yeah,
King g3.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, it's not so easy for Alexandra to find the move here.
No. You mean it's Zugzwang?
Of course not, but still. What to do?
Volkswagen.
What to do here? No use of playing like this, of course, no? Because
You can.
You can?
You can do it. Why not? But in general, you always have to be concerned about just an increasing of the pressure. Not quite sure what that does, but you know, it looks more effective on the F file than
Then
the A1.
on
the
A1,
where it's not doing anything.
it's a
you know,
statist.
Yeah. So, and white starts to creep forward, and even knight d5 can be here in the air. These moves. You can start probing. Sometimes you can even go king h4 just
King
to,
h4.
you know, just to
check.
just to tickle, black. You know, you tickle her a little bit.
Yes. People are suggesting some moves,
All right.
mostly about the game.
We don't want suggestions on the moves unless they're really, really good. Give us some other comments.
Nothing actually special at the moment. Sorry.
Yeah,
Uh,
they should have some general questions of general interest.
okay, if I ask you how do you feel here, I think they almost answer it with Antarctica like this. But okay, Nigel, it's your 5th time in Russia, so
5th time? No, it's not my 5th time. I've been to Russia many times. I've only been
5th
to
city.
5th city, yes.
Yes.
Oh, 5th
So which
city.
one do you like most?
Yeah, well, 5th city. Is Poikovsky a city?
It's a town.
It's a village. That's a hamlet. Not even
Yeah.
a village, I think, a hamlet. Yeah, I've been to Moscow. Novgorod is really nice, by the way. Really nice. I mean, all that Russian history. Ivan the Terrible.
Right.
All of that stuff. All around there.
And as far as you know so much about
the
it,
oldest stone Kremlin in Russia.
is there.
is there.
Yes.
They have all those beautiful churches.
And you actually, you know Russian history very well.
I
Because
don't
not
know.
only Russian, but in general, but still Russian.
I think when I don't really, I'm not really somebody who studies history that much, but when I go to a place, I like to find out a little bit about it. So it's like I've come here and I've been doing
Homework.
a bit of homework,
Yes.
and you know, about the Russian annexation of this this region, this eastern
You mean
expansion.
the contract?
So, what contract? It's an annexation. Yeah. And you know, the whole thing is, it's an amazing part of the world, actually. Very, very interesting to be here.
Sure. And we have a question.
Go on.
The question is, who was your favorite in this match before it started, and has it changed since seeing the players perform?
Look, I don't have a favourite because I'm the chairman of the appeals committee, and you know, if there is a dispute and you know there is a complaint or something, and the arbiter makes a decision, and then there is a complaint against the arbiter's decision, it comes to me.
You should
I'm there
decide.
as chairman of the appeals committee. So these things, I don't have favourites. I just would try to judge things impartially. You know, who is right on the matter of the law, actually, essentially,
Of
the
course.
interpretation. So, you know, what I think about the players is actually neither here nor there. I'm here to do a job, and actually I feel like this with the commentary as well, because I mean, I'm not cheering for any side. I'm just trying to understand what is going on and pointing out the possibilities for both players. So strictly neutral.
Strictly neutral. Yes. And, okay. There was a question about Alexandra speaking English, and I can say that I've never heard her speak in English because it's not her best part. But
I've never heard it either. But
yes, but
I mean,
I think that she will learn it, of course.
yeah, yeah.
Because it's necessary nowadays to do it
Well, if you're traveling
so much.
internationally,
Yes.
yeah.
But Alexandra is very much concerned about chess. She is absolutely involved in the process of learning chess, of studying.
She's yeah. I mean, she is a tremendously determined player.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it in this match, and you know, some people were talking like, you know, this previous game when she went on for 105 moves or whatever it was, and they were saying like, you know, what is she doing? And she's perfectly entitled to make as many moves as she wants to. In a sense, she's sending a psychological message to her opponent. If you're going to play badly and passively, I will toy with you as much as I want to. I'm in control.
Yes.
I can stop the game anytime I want to.
I can offer a draw.
So
Yes.
yeah, I can offer a draw and the game will stop. You cannot offer a draw. You are in my control. So I don't think there's anything remotely unethical or unsporting about that. That is part of the game, and that's part of the competition. I certainly would have played on for a time. I probably would have given up a bit earlier than she did, because I'd try a few things, and once I felt, oh yeah, I'm not really getting anywhere, I'd probably give up. But she's been sending a message to her opponent, who, let us not forget, had the whip hand before this match from their previous results.
Yes.
I mean, she was clearly on top. Clearly, Ju Wenjun hadn't lost. Should have beaten her in last year.
Skolkova.
I mean, in Skolkova, it was crushing. I mean, actually, an elementary win in an endgame. I mean, it was like calculating 3 moves and pretty obvious moves. And they have come here, and she's shown she's not afraid. She's created chances. She's created more chances.
And she's ready to fight.
Oh yeah,
till the end.
Till the end. And I think the closer it gets to the end, the better. The better her chances. So, but here, today, she's under a little bit of pressure.
In this position, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So f6, knight d5.
So rook f1 happened.
Rook f1 happened, f6 was played.
Yeah, and then
knight d5.
Yeah, and here we have a little threat. Which
to take on where? To take on f6.
Yes, and not with the knight, but to take with the rook.
Yes. So
a little combination.
So rook f7.
I don't know what is the right move. Maybe rook f7?
Rook f7, because otherwise you cannot play like this.
Yeah,
because
you can move your
c7
king.
is hanging. Move where?
Yeah, but that's the question. Yeah, it's not clear where.
Move.
Maybe rook f7. Maybe rook f7. And sometimes it's good just to do that. You often, put the rook. You often get this little constellation like that. When you play in an endgame and it's rook against knight, you often sort of put your rook opposite there because it restricts the possibilities for the knight. So you sort of corner it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Well,
never think about these things in endgames? There are lots of endgames like that where you just restrict it by putting it opposite.
Mm-hmm. Well,
maybe you didn't think about it.
You know chess much better than me.
The point is, you probably do these things without actually consciously
I haven't
thinking.
played chess for 13 years,
13
Nigel.
years, come on.
Yes.
What's that?
Haven't taken
13
chessboard
years.
for a classical
Yeah.
chess. Only some blitz, so that's not serious.
Yeah, so you quit when you were 12 or something. What was it?
Yes, something like this.
You quit whilst you were on top.
1 year old. Okay, that's a grandmaster point of view, of course. That you know so much about chess that.
No, I mean, these are things which it's funny actually, because you do certain things in your career, and then at some point you actually think what it is you are doing. Sometimes you think even in those concrete terms. It's like I remember once listening to the comedian John Cleese, the English. You don't know him?
No.
Oh gosh, you have grown. Anyway, he's honestly he's very famous and very funny guy, and he's talking about types of humor.
Types of humor.
This and that. So it's clear that you see them, and there is a sketch, maybe even a television series or something, and there are these gags, there are these scenes, and it's like he's given a lot of thought to what is funny. There are people who do these things, but it's actually it's intellectualized.
Okay.
What is it that you've done that makes that funny?
Yes, I understand.
And sometimes it's the reversing of things, and there are different types of humor. But anyway, Rook F7 was not played, but
I'm not sure.
King F7.
King F7?
So King F7 is perhaps more natural because
Really?
it stops Rook takes.
But
And it's bringing the king into the center. It's a better move.
so we're not afraid of any taken on
takes,
F6? No.
Yeah, we're not, because
No,
we
we're
just
not.
simply take and we put the king on G7.
G7. Yes, right?
So, yeah.
Nothing special.
Yeah, I think that would be...
It's just losing.
All dressed up, no place to go. That's, no. Yet.
So,
Knight.
knight E3, king G8. So are they repeating the moves? I cannot believe it. In this position?
No, that's just bizarre. Really? Is that
It happened once, I guess, because now we can see knight on E3 again and king on G8.
It's weird.
Maybe she wants to get some time because the time control is in 4 moves. Is it possible?
Maybe she wants, I don't know, H4 or something.
Maybe
H4.
she wants to check
How about H4?
H4 here, right?
Yeah.
Let's try.
Yeah, let's go for it.
H4. King F5.
Oh, she's gone to
Knight F5. Knight
Okay,
F5.
okay.
Knight F5.
What is that?
Without H4.
Yeah.
Knight F5.
You're on. Right. Good.
So, knight exchange.
I don't think that black wants to take that.
Shall I go back
Yep.
to C6? Or
Well, no, G takes H5 is a
Of
threat.
course, yes, yes.
So H takes G5.
H
maybe,
takes.
maybe this is the idea that's simply forcing this one. And again, it's a pleasant position for white.
So taken is not so good.
Well, I think we take.
Take with G pawn.
I would be looking to take with the G pawn. You can even take with the rook, and you're better. But this way, you can
Double on H file. Yes,
could be unpleasant.
very,
because-
very
yeah.
unpleasant.
And white has more space. Sometimes you can win even by going into, you suddenly end up going into a king and pawn endgame.
We have a question actually
okay.
from Sagar Chess. I guess it's Sagar Shah from Chess Base
Oh,
India.
really?
I think so, but
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Good.
So
Yes,
Nigel,
it is.
which chess books have inspired you in your chess learnings?
Oh, lots of them. Lots of chess books have inspired me. I had, very, very early books. Aljechin, his collected games, and Bobby Fischer, 60 Memorable Games. My grandma bought me that for Christmas one time. And lots of things, actually. I mean, you see on some old photos that I'm there with sort of New York 1924. I remember, I think I got a book voucher for this, and I had to go to the bookstore and spend my voucher. And this was a Dover reprint, and the Dover reprints were like much cheaper. So, I'm, being somebody who is not extravagant at all, I realized I could get a couple of books if I bought some of these Dover reprints, which were relatively cheap rather than some of the other things. So, I mean, things like that. I can say even now these are great books, actually. And I've read a lot of rubbish books in my time. And it's okay. It's okay because, even from the rubbish books, you pick up certain things.
And you said about Aljechin.
Yeah. So
And
you pronounce that so beautifully. That's. I wish I could pronounce it like that. You did that so beautifully. Yeah. Okay.
and
Do it again. Because
Aljechin.
everybody thinks it's Alekhine,
Aljechin.
Right. Okay.
Yes, and there was a recent interview
Why did he write
by.
his name Alekhine? Is it
I
just?
think it's a French manner.
He's a French manner, is it? Yeah.
I think that yes, and there was an interview by Magnus Carlsen in one of the Russian biggest
Yeah.
RBC. It's just a holding, and he said that his favorite chess player was Aljechin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was actually surprised by it.
Yeah, because you think stylistically he's more of a Capablanca guy, don't you, or a Karpov guy, or he's like Karpov but more dynamic. That's what I would say about Magnus. I've got plenty of books on.
Aljechin.
Thank you, very good. And I've got Kotov in Russian.
Kotov is a coach, right? Kotov, Alexander.
Yeah, Alexander
Yes,
Kotov.
yes.
He was he won that interzonal with a massive margin. Great player. And his book, Think Like a Grandmaster, that's to answer Sagar Shah's...
It's not Sagar, it's his friend.
Right, okay, yeah. That book was very influential, although it was completely wrong, I mean, he was saying you have to think in terms of... It was all about trees. Do you remember that? Bushes and trees.
Yes.
There's no human being on Earth thinks like that. Even he didn't think like that.
Yes.
It was all... But, it was good propaganda. Good communist propaganda, that Soviet method.
And what about the methods?
Soviet scientific man. But I want to do the sequel, Drink Like a Grandmaster. Drink Like a Grandmaster, that will be
a success.
It will be a success. I feel I've accumulated
all the experience of the ages.
Yes, and you only need to look at this over here to realize the accumulated wisdom of many years.
And while we're speaking about methods, so
yeah,
there are some changes. They took everything on F5,
yeah, right.
as we showed,
yeah.
and G6.
Yeah, but this is risky.
Well,
risky.
Very much.
Rook G6. G5, excuse me. This is very risky. So what is that's the position.
That's the position. So I'm going to play like this.
Yeah, I'm going to play King F4.
King F4.
Maybe rook g7 then.
Ah,
No, rook g7, king e3.
king e3.
Yeah.
So if I take,
I now play.
it's
I'm
too
actually.
dangerous.
I just want to be very slightly more circumspect. I want to play rook h1.
Rook h1. Nice.
Yeah, you want to play rook g7 and king f7. That's. And you might.
I want to hide my king
yeah,
somewhere.
Yeah, you might just be all right.
I don't think it's better still.
Yeah, it's not that easy actually. So let's go back just a move here. Maybe I don't like king e3, but
King
it can.
e3.
You know, sometimes you can just maybe that's just to pin down.
Mm-hmm.
How if we just go king e3 and we pin you down, not to the defense of
King g7.
king g7. And now I just want to go around. I'll go around the houses. King d2.
King d2. Well,
And I want to go to c3.
there is a famous game by Nigel Short when king almost made it, right?
That's right. That's right. Against
So this, again, the maneuvering of a king,
Yeah, maneuver the king. You try and, you know,
we try and win.
you try and squeeze it in this way. And then like that. Something like that. Take the c pawn. But
Wow.
actually, what I want to do is I want to put the king on c3, threaten that, and then to double the rooks, maybe on the h file.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The point is, Alexandra took a risk by this.
Maybe it's she has taken a risk. It's a balance, you know. Do you judgment? Do I sit passively and try and hold passively, or do I try and seize the initiative, or at least obtain a measure of counterplay? Because here we're not really talking about seizing the initiative. I mean, she's still defending.
Yes. Yes.
It's you can't say that she's impatient because she's perfectly capable of playing 105 moves and missing dinner, you know, by doing so. The most important thing, making the commentators miss dinner. So. But it's different when you are pressing, when you're on top, and you know when you're defending, and then you must decide. So king f4.
King f4.
Yeah.
King f4. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's find it first. Then, yes. King f4. So, and then we will see whether she will choose your idea. Yes, she took. No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
What's happening in the game?
No, it's getting a bit excitable. So
Hard choice.
off to the toilet. We had a lot of excitement with the toilets.
What kind of?
Yesterday. That you know, we would sort of because you have to ensure that the playing conditions are good. And there was a match once where there was a
Elista.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a match.
Yeah, where there were toilets came into it. Well, I've become very toilet obsessed after being in Shanghai, which I mean, our toilets in Shanghai were just brilliant. You know what I mean? Why are you shaking your head? I mean, just the technology of this toilet was just fantastic. It was the smartest toilet I'd ever seen, and in fact,
You became obsessed with this, yes.
we've all been talking about it since we got it. You know, we got to Vladivostok, and people are not.
Miracles ceased.
What are people complaining about here? You would have thought it's the weather. No. It's the fact that everybody is missing their brilliant toilets, which had all sorts of facilities and kept your bum warm and things like that. But anyway, I'll try and keep this clean.
In which term?
So we had to examine all of that stuff and to make sure that the corridor leading to the toilets, there was not possible for anybody to come in.
The players should be separated from others.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there should be no possibility.
No possible communication.
Transmission of information. Yes.
Yes. So I don't understand
what. King E3.
King E3.
Yeah, she did what I. Yeah, you see,
yes.
I'm not so weak.
No, of course not, Nigel.
It wasn't my first idea, but I did get the right idea afterwards.
Of course, because you know how to do it. But okay,
I realised my first idea was wrong. That's trial and error.
And if I play like this,
you can. I still like to move my king. I just like to get my king to safety. Yeah. And
am I being stupid?
No, you're never stupid.
Not now. Okay.
It's difficult. The position is a bit unpleasant for you.
Is it?
It is. It's such a squeezing.
But how do you progress in this with white?
Well, first of all, you've got to move.
My move is like this.
Right. Okay. Very good. Now, at this point, I can even consider E5. Did you think about that?
Now I do. So I take. Maybe here.
Yeah, maybe that's a more subtle move. Trying to trick you, because if you take, I think you get it.
Maybe nothing. Maybe rook b7.
Yeah, check and rook b7.
Rook
no,
b7.
I'm not going to mate you. No. I just come and say, I put my king in safety. Your position sucks.
Yes, that's not good. So
yeah,
this one,
agree,
is better.
It's a bit sucky, this position. Yeah, it's a rook. And those positions, sometimes they're like really, really close to, you can be really close to defeat. Let me just see, takes. Let's see, it's probably no good. Probably just in time.
Pawn endgames.
It's going to be a draw. C6. Should be a draw. Okay, so it's you have to think about these things there. Yeah. Good. Are you enjoying it, everyone? Let us know. We do like flattery.
No answer. Okay, of course I enjoy it.
I'm talking to our audience.
Yes, but still they're silent, so I speak.
Okay, good.
I speak from my heart.
Okay.
No. So The pawn endgame looks to be a draw.
Yeah, but it's
So-
close, isn't it? It's close.
Pawn
Actually,
endgames are very scary usually.
Yeah.
You don't know.
yeah, you know, if white's, yeah, they are scary sometimes. But so maybe that's not the right move, and maybe white needs to, maybe you need to play rook h2. Maybe you need
Rook
to go.
h2.
Okay, now I check you. Check. Rook g1 check. Now I take.
Just a second.
I go rook h4.
Ah, no. That's not good.
You see, I'm squeezing.
This way?
Yeah, I take it.
Yeah.
And then I put the rook in. And then I come round the back. And you're not enjoying it, are you?
And this one? No? Not good. Because of this.
It's rook a8.
Yes, maybe c6 was a bad move from
Yeah, but
my
you
side.
see, you can't play all of the moves at all of the time. You know, you played c6 for a good reason,
But
then you can't put it back on c7.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like these sort of ideas. You know, just
Mm-hmm.
an infiltration on the queen side
Mm-hmm.
to attempt as a slow infiltration,
Mm-hmm.
probing, forcing, or cajoling you into making this weakness, which 10 moves or 15 moves later you're going to regret when I get my rook round the back.
Alexandra played rook f7, as far as I can see from the board.
Okay.
And maybe there is king
King
d2,
Yeah.
right? King f8.
Aha. Wise. Wise men say
Not my repertoire.
only fools rush in.
e5. No?
I like infiltrate. King c3. Go into.
Here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, king here?
Okay. Infiltrate. King c4.
King c4. I don't know how to react.
It's very difficult.
It's very difficult.
It's an unpleasant position.
If I play against c6, there will be some ways to attack my pawns.
Yep.
If I play just like this, you can go here.
I can start to come round. Yep. King b5. And you know, I can also, at any time, I can play a move like rook f5. I'd rather go in,
Rook
by the way,
f5.
but I just want to show that with rook f5 and then sometimes e5. You've got rook g5, so you still
Rook
have some-
g5.
yeah, that might be a defense.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. Except, can I take? Rook takes g5. Takes. Rook takes f7. Yeah. King
Really?
c3. g4. King d2. Just in time.
Yeah, just in time, but if I don't go like this,
Yeah, but maybe you're going to run out of moves. Maybe not g4. Maybe you need to.
maybe I play
Yeah,
like
king
this.
d3. King d2,
d2?
excuse me. King e5, let's say. I go king e3.
Well, I smelled Zugzwang.
Yeah. got a protected passport.
No, I don't like it very much. So
So king, I can even play. Okay, I'll play king f3 now. How are you going to hold this?
king g4. King d4, I mean.
King d4.
Ah, no, you
You're
cannot move your
you-
king.
You're not going anywhere.
You cannot move. Yes, even if c3.
Yeah.
No, like this.
You can't.
Well, it's lost.
And that's it. Yeah.
It's lost.
So you've got so many just long-term weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Short-term, long-term weaknesses. It's awkward.
So the point is, we can see that king on c3, king on c3, king on e7, and she is playing as you showed.
Oh, I love you. I mean, not sort of, literally, but you know what I mean. I'm expressing admiration for her deep understanding of the game.
Yes, but we could see that Jun won the endgame. The only game she won here is in the endgame,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I've
been predicting all of these moves.
yes,
haven't I?
yes, of course, playing like the world champion.
Yeah. That's,
Well, this is not the case. What's the position?
by the
We
way-
analyzed too much, Nigel.
yeah, I've completely lost it. I just want to
Not this one.
say I'm sorry actually for some of the broadcasts in Shanghai, which were we had problems with the capacity from Shanghai. So I'm hoping that things that are working much better in Russia. I'm sure they are. I'm absolutely certain that all of that is functioning much better than it was in Shanghai. So it's a great city, but I think those little details maybe
Slight issues.
Slight issues, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, there is a time difference. We should always remember it. When we start, it's just 8:30 in Moscow AM and 6:30 in Europe.
Yeah.
So I admire these people who watch the match so early.
Yeah.
This is our analysis again.
Yeah.
And this is the position we have.
Yeah.
So Alexandra played c6.
Yeah.
She
So
played
she
c6.
she's playing like you.
That's not the best idea.
Two is playing like I am, and she's playing
Yes.
like you. So maybe good enough. But somehow I feel this is necessary. It is a little bit weakening, but it's only weakening if white can go around the back, get round the back.
Hit from behind.
Yep.
Whew. There was a question to you, Nigel.
Yep.
But I think the question was how to memorize the whole board and how to concentrate on the game just to...
How to memorize the whole board? You can see the whole board.
No, especially when you analyze it without looking at the board, maybe.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure how I can't even properly describe it when you analyze in your head. I don't think I see the whole board exactly. I don't think so at all. It's it's very difficult to say how it works. You're kind of focusing on certain things, and then your memory of where the other pieces are, but it's not a complete visualization, at least not with me. I can't speak for other players, but actually I think I saw some comments from Kramnik. Kramnik is a very good blitz blindfold player, you know. So
Yes.
what is blindfold chess? Blindfold chess is what you do when you analyze. So people who are good at it should normally be able to calculate well.
Yeah. But that's fine when the chess players finish their game and then come out of the playing hall and analyze without the board.
Yeah. Okay, rook h. That is basically
Your idea.
yeah. And the moment the weakening move c6 has come, she is attempting to penetrate from around the back.
And if I just play like this, actually,
That's possible. You can do that. And even there, you have to consider. No, you don't. Rook h6. Let me go rook h6. How about that? If we plonk that one in. And with this, I'm starting to look at e5 as being, you know.
it's
You're feeling the pressure here, aren't you? I mean, it's
not pleasant. No, just if I play like this.
you stopped it. Yeah.
All inspiration just
Yes.
failed.
Yeah, that's it.
But
And then, do we consider? Do we go forward?
slow-mo.
Slow-mo. Yeah. I remember somebody, there was a game I saw, gosh, before your mother was born, Eteri, that's back in the 1980s, and it was something like that, where white played, it was actually black, I think, that played like that. It made all these kind of advancing moves. And then what happened was, you know, let's say here, a rook would come into c1 and the other rook to d7, and then you'd have terrible problems to start the rook mate on d4. So it kind of looks as if you know that one side can forget about the danger. You know, you're going forward, you're feeling I'm making progress, pushing them back, you know, and I'm advancing here. And then you suddenly forget that, hang on, when I play like this, my king can't go anywhere. And you lose with embarrassment, you know. This,
Well,
so,
it can happen, of course, but
c3 is committal.
so Alexandra hasn't made a move still.
Yeah.
She's thinking. Well, this position is very unpleasant to defend,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And there is another possibility as well, that maybe we can just, okay, let's say we can also just play rook h5.
Rook h5, suffocating.
And then rook f5, yeah, you play king e6, I'll play rook f5, so we basically...
h5, or this one.
No, rook h to...
H.
Yeah.
5.
And then we're looking at
You want
e5 ideas, so... Yeah, you may have enough resources. It's possible.
Going back?
We can even consider c3. Can I consider that?
C3. Zugzwangen.
Yeah. b4.
Take.
Takes. And then I want to play a5.
Of course, that's kind of...
It's just unpleasant. The whole thing is unpleasant. The king can go back to c4.
More space, more chances.
Yeah.
So what we have now is that Alexandra is still thinking, and she even has less time.
Yeah.
In 1 minute. So, the way you play, Nigel, you would outplay anyone in this position.
No. I mean, these positions, it's. She's gone rook g8.
Rook g8.
Yeah, it's a sensible move.
Here. It doesn't want to listen to me,
Okay.
to my commands.
Okay. I don't know about c3 is.
It's not our move in the game.
Yeah.
Our move should somewhere stop here.
Yeah. Our technician has gone on strike. Maybe we should have a short break. What do you think?
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah. Maybe we should have a gin and tonic. But this might be a good moment for this. I lost my earpiece quite some time ago. So I've just been told, yes, that's a good idea. We're all
waiting for it.
we're all ready for our drink. I should say we're actually in a university and they don't have alcohol here.
Alcohol. No alcohol, yes, that's university, so it's quite natural.
Oh yes, because I've never known students drink. Yeah.
Yes, there are laws that we should follow. So, see you sometime later.
Yeah, we'll take a short break because this is we'll come back for the last phase of the game. So they've got their final half hour, and then we will be ticking down, and with only the 30-second increment for each player. So we'll join you in a few minutes. back to the resumption of the 7th game of the Women's World Championship, and we've had a couple of moves since the break, and we've reached the following position where it looks like. Oops, there we've got the scores. They're just flashed up before us. So the score is 1 each, with how many draws? 5 draws. No, that's unless they drew today. No, there's 4 draws.
4 draws.
4 draws.
4 draws, and the score is 3-3 in general.
The score is 3-3, so I don't know
Yes.
what that is.
So, okay, let us see the position. I mean, that's a general scoring of them.
Yeah, in classical chess.
In classical chess.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's very confusing, because the draw is ancient history. The from Skolkovo. What's it called?
Skolkova.
Skolkovo.
Sounded like school.
Skol. Yeah, like I hope got some Scandinavians watching this. Icelanders. Scowl. Yeah.
You're always showing this.
I don't know why. Yeah.
Yes.
I have lots of practice. Yeah. So, what is going on here? Well, what's going on is that
The position before the break was as follows,
yeah,
with King e6, right?
and that was a good move. And Alexandra is defending stoutly.
Very
She's-
precisely.
Yeah. And Rook h5, the engine didn't particularly like Rook h5, but I thought it was okay.
But from the
I
human point of view,
I thought it was very, very okay. And here, I probably would have played Rook f5 first. Maybe she wants.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead
Instead of c3.
Yeah, but maybe she wants to keep options open. Doesn't matter. That's not happened. So c3, the committal c3. And we've been talking about these self-mates here, that
Rook c1.
suddenly, if a rook
Rook
appears here and one rook appears here, that's going to be bad news. Bad newsville.
But even if I play like this,
You could always play rook h6 or rook f5.
yes, so
That might be a good move anyway, actually, because rook can come to g6. And
This one.
There's a question on but what that has achieved. So
Rook
could
h6.
could just be a good move. Could just be that White's advantage is insufficient. It looks better for White, but in fact the worst is maybe over.
For black.
Yep.
But why?
So she's got the rooks doubled. What she wants to do is to exchange a rook on
on g.
the h, to exchange this rook on h, whatever it is. Maybe she doesn't want to do that. I'm just wondering. Now I start to wonder. So can we had a variation there? Rook here. Let's say we go up. Rook g6. Let's say we take. Can we go round? Or is black going to obtain adequate counterplay with rook g4 and then f5?
And f5. So looks like that in this position black can seize the initiative. So if I still follow this plan,
Yeah, Well, we're analysing.
Let's try.
We're analysing, so we can play.
Since Alexandra is thinking,
we're allowed to play bad moves while trying to understand the position. F5.
F5.
You want to go rook b8?
I even don't know where I want to go because I take. F4 isn't dangerous.
Well, you're asking good questions there.
I'm retired chess player, so I just can ask questions now.
Good or bad?
Any.
Yeah. So F4.
Nothing special.
Here, that might be premature.
Yes.
You may have cause to regret.
Yes,
Pushing,
nothing special.
Pushing that, because my rook will come behind and then I'll initiate action on the queen side. So I'm thinking here that takes Tchaikovsky, king here, rook h4, and then something like rook takes, and you could even play king d5.
King d5.
You can probably, yeah. It's probably going to be a draw.
Yeah.
Should be. It kind of feels drawish.
Not so much in this position to win.
No.
For either side.
No.
Alexandra is thinking very hard, and she's going to make a move, rook g5.
It's almost the same. I said she wanted to exchange that rook on h5, didn't I? I mean, you can go about exchanging it indirectly or just trying to force it off. So, and maybe that's her idea. She just wants to, doesn't matter.
Well, now
Rook h, the only way to keep two rooks on is to play rook h2.
Rook h2.
It's the only way.
Yes, of course.
But it doesn't look very good. Then rook g3, for example, can be played. And start some counterattack.
Like
Yeah,
this?
yeah, you could start to think about those things. I don't know whether it's good or not, but yeah. All right, do we have any witty comments?
Witty comments.
Brilliant questions from...
Do you think they're talking crap about each other in their heads?
So silent trash talking.
Silent trash talking.
Yeah, it's a good...
No, we have rook h6. I don't think so. And do you? Have you ever talked crap?
I have to keep this clean because this is, it's a broadcast.
Of course.
Where I've got to behave. But I do remember Zhenya Bareev. You remember him? Russian.
Yeah.
He used to be a Russian grandmaster.
Used to be, right. like many Russian yes, grandmasters.
Yeah, and he used to be even a very strong Russian grandmaster at one time. And he's now, he's living in Canada. But I recall a tournament from the 1990s when he was playing, and he was playing against Garry Kasparov. And actually his way of inspiring himself for this game was to basically think the worst possible things about Kasparov during the game. It had some sort of
Did
visual.
that help?
He had some visual images of Gary during the game, and you know what he would like to do to him, and it did help because in fact Bereev in general had a terrible score against Gary Kasparov. He was by no means unique in having a bad score against Kasparov, I can assure you. Certainly was not the only one. But in this particular game, he came quite close to
A draw?
to winning.
To winning.
Yeah, he was pressing him. Normally, it was pretty one-sided. So I think in certain circumstances, you know, I don't know, this trash talking, I don't know, I've never done that. Well, I have done it, but not whilst I'm trying to play.
Not always.
Yeah.
Well,
And I think that sort of cursing is only really if your opponent is annoying, you know, when they're behaving badly. You know, you might
does
have
it often happen actually when the opponents play badly against you on high level?
What?
I mean, does it often happens?
That your
happen?
your opponent
Or, for
plays
example, behave some
not often, but
somehow strangely.
it can happen. It can happen that people have irritating habits. So those things are, yeah, most people not.
Making faces, or what?
Yeah, most people not, but it's not unprecedented. You know, even at high levels. So.
You know that in the Soviet times, when Botvinnik was preparing for the match, I don't remember which match, he was on his training camp, and his seconds were smoking.
Yeah, they were instructed to
blow smoke to
in his
him
face.
because his opponent smoked. Perhaps it was Tal, maybe his opponent.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly which match.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank God they banned smoking.
Of course.
During chess events.
Of course.
I mean, thank God. That was one great advance. I thank Campomanes, Florencio Campomanes, who I had some difficulties with the guy, to be quite honest, but that was the greatest thing he ever did as FIDE president, to introduce a ban. And to be honest, I think there should be a complete ban on smoking at chess events, because I think the idea of having a smoking area is nonsensical.
Because of the fair play reasons?
Well,
or?
I think there are all sorts of there are two reasons actually, because we're recognized as a sport by the IOC, and I think when we have this recognition, and when roughly 120 federations are recognized as sports by their respective national Olympic committees, the idea that you play a few moves and then you need a break to go off and have a fag is ridiculous. So I think it's very bad for the image of chess. I don't think we can take ourselves seriously. But there is also an additional reason that it's simply impossible to police these areas. You know, very often it's some place outside, and in I'm not talking about a world championship match anyway. Neither of these people play, but smoke. But neither of these players smoke. But you have these tournaments where you'd have a few smokers. You can't send your arbiters down there to...
Usually they do.
It's well, they often don't. They often do.
Maybe it open, you mean, but on officials it's always like this.
Yeah, I know at the Olympiad and so on, but it's kind of ridiculous having your arbiters standing around outside in the lung cancer zone. That's what I think.
That's a point.
Yeah,
there is a point,
so
of course.
I have actually proposed this. There's a nice thing about being FIDE vice president. I can propose these things, and people have to
listen to them.
They have to. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean they get passed, but you know, stage one where people actually listen to me, it's pleasant. You know, they listen to me and then they ignore me.
Oh, that's a pity.
Yeah.
But not always, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
As you said in the interviews, many your ideas were supported.
Yes, yes.
Especially the Paralympics, which is
It's
going
very
to be
good,
in
very
the
good.
Hantimansisk.
Yeah.
In Hantimansisk, so the first.
Hantiem.
Hantiem is a wonderful place.
Yeah.
I've been there all the time since 2012, so I know almost every house.
Yes, you know every nook and cranny of of the place.
Yes, but it's very nice.
So, we have
Not so much happened.
a little try by White. I don't think that's so bad, Rook FH2, but I think that's the idea. We're going to come to the variation which I mentioned earlier.
Which one? Drawish.
Crook takes crook.
Rook takes. Oh, but that's drawish, no?
Rook g4.
Rook g4. Right. And that?
And with always with the idea of the, I think it's kind of a Zugzwang actually. It's a semi Zugzwang that White can no longer return to other ideas. Like, for example, that if the pawn were back on c2, she could simply drop the king back and then try to come round the back with the rook. This way, actually, she just doesn't have moves.
Mm-hmm. So maybe c3 was in a curious.
Well, you can't do everything. You know, you play c3 for a reason, and then she's neutralized this. So, you know, had she played c3 and, you know, goes on to win, and then you would say this is the consistent, the logical continuation. But when you go c3 and then you discover some moves later you would prefer your pawn back on c2.
Right.
You know,
right.
it's bad luck. So I think this has been pretty good defense in the end, because it was starting to get
dangerous for
rather unpleasant.
Yeah.
And she's done a good job.
Alexandra is a very tough player, so she knows how to defend, she knows how to push, she knows how to maintain pressure, and, as well as Vendune, of course, but now Alexandra was defending in this game.
This just seems to be the equalizing method. I've glanced over at my engine, and the engine seems to say, yeah, this is a draw. Dead draw, actually. And that is fair enough. I mean, in fact, White has just run out of ideas, I think.
And there was a question to you in the chat.
Yep.
So, which books do you consider to be the best ones for the endgames? To study the endgames.
Yeah. Well, I think there are a number of very good books, aren't there? What do you like? You tell me.
Dvoretsky.
Yeah.
Dvoretsky, of course, for us.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, he was very good. He was very good.
Yes.
I like John Nunn. John Nunn is a fantastic endgame writer. You know, he's written several books. There are others, of course. Carsten Muller is highly regarded. Those are just some. Averbach, Yuri.
Yuri Averbach. Recently he has said that he wants to break the record and to be over 100 years
Yeah,
old.
you know what happens in England when you're 100 years old. You get a telegram from the Queen. But you see, the Queen now, she will have to send a telegram to herself because she's getting I don't know whether she sent a telegram to her mother because her mother also went past 100. So they've got good genes or good doctors. I don't know, one or the other.
Both. Of course, both, I think.
Yeah.
So people are writing about psychology. Maybe they're right. Because
of course. So, hang on a second. What I was talking about. So after Rook F2, she's gone.
Oh, she didn't play like this.
She went Rook F5. So that, yeah.
So they didn't change?
No, she didn't exchange. She just went F5.
Oh, she played F5.
Which is okay. It is okay.
F5 is...
Yeah.
So they're exchanging?
Yeah.
But it's also drawish.
It looks very drawish.
Maybe it's even more drawish. So they exchange almost everything.
Yeah.
So
I think we're heading for handshakes.
Handshake.
Pretty soon.
Right.
She's having a little pause here.
But there is no danger. Yes.
No danger at all. She's having a little pause. I think she's thinking, should I offer a draw?
Wenjun?
Yeah, Wenjun, yeah. What's the difference between a cat and a comma?
Cat and the comma?
Yeah.
Cat and the comma.
Yes. A comma is a pause at the end of a clause, and a cat has claws at the end of its paws.
You should be an Englishman to know such things.
Yeah.
D4.
It was a clean joke, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot cleaner than most of my other jokes.
D4.
Yeah, I think just takes and then king bang. Oh, she'll take with a pawn, yeah. Actually, still some small concern. She takes back, and now you've just got to be slightly careful about Rook H7, Rook H8, and Rook B8. So how is that going to work?
Nigel, are you okay?
The engine is suggesting something
What?
very, very sneaky.
What?
Diabolical.
What?
Diabolical.
Let's see.
Okay, okay. This is very nice because I was just starting to get concerned. I'm sure she spots this because she's very sharp. Now we look. King e6. We go
King is 6.
Yeah, okay.
Back.
Normal. So you go, let's say, rook h7. Let's say you go rook h7.
Rook h7.
Yeah, I play king d6.
King
Okay.
d6.
You go rook b7.
Rook b7.
Yeah. I go rook g5.
Rook g5.
And now you whip off on b6. Rook takes b6.
Am I? And then you catch my rook.
Oh, isn't that diabolical?
Yes, right. It's a mouse trap.
Yep. Yep. Isn't that Agatha Christie?
Mm-hmm. Right. Sure. Detective.
Yes.
It can easily happen in a closed place, like these squares b6 and a6.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you take, the rook is
Yes.
caught.
Yeah, so b6 was
Here.
just a piece of cheese, wasn't it?
So Alexandra, and okay,
Didn't we have a mouse trap in Rapid and Blitz? There was that game of Firouzja against maybe it was against Dubov, where I mean Firouzja was completely winning, and he managed to get his rook trapped. I mean, he's 2 pawns up in a rook and pawn endgame, and he managed to. No, who was it against? Yeah, I think.
but Firouzja won this game against
No, he lost.
Dubov.
No. So I've got it wrong.
So maybe it was somebody else.
Somebody else. It's somebody else. I'm trying to remember.
Not
who
Magnus?
It was. No. He got his rook trapped on c5. He was just very careless. He got it 2 pawns up in a rook and pawn endgame. Somebody will tell us. I've forgotten because I was.
Please
watching
tell us about this game.
Yeah.
And was it the Blitz or Rapid?
I don't recall. It was,
Me neither,
you know, it
so-
was, you know how it is when you're watching over Christmas, New Year. You probably had quite a lot of Christmas pudding and plenty to drink. So these small details on, you know, players' names.
You're watching quite carelessly.
Indeed.
Well, the point was that I was running around the playing hall, so I didn't manage to watch all the games back then, but now we can see that Duvin played rook g1 instead of your plan.
Well, it wasn't my plan. I just kind of noticed.
This trick.
Yeah.
Okay, let us see. No, it's not this way. Here, rook g1.
Yeah. I think this is good enough, you know. So let's say rook comes round the back. Let's say rook h8, and then her idea is, let me see. Rook h8. Then she wants to give a check. And I guess she wants to give a rook b1 or something like that.
She already played rook h6.
Yeah.
So, do we expect?
It's maybe cutting off the king a little bit. Maybe it's a better move.
So, do we expect rook c1 or rook c1 right here or not?
She can, and there's even another way to play. You can even play b5 check if you want, but
She made the check.
Yeah.
King d3.
Yeah.
And
rook check is good enough. Rook c.
Rook where?
Rook check.
Here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if
and if I play here,
and then I take, and then You come over and I play rook b4.
b4, right.
You kind of feel a certain drawishness, don't you? About the position?
Certain drawishness.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, she's making checks.
Yeah, you're just in time, by the way. Just you need to count that. Because after king c3,
King c3.
king in that king. First of all, we play king king Kong. Should be a little bit careful. Sorry, over here. King e5, rook c4.
Rook c4.
You see?
Yes.
But you're in time.
You're in time.
Give
King c7.
me one moment in time.
Didn't you take your guitar with you?
When I'm old and I thought that could be.
Right, some people are writing that
Yeah.
water from stone in this position.
Yeah. Water from stone. Blood from stone.
Water.
Is that what you say in Russian?
In Russia, we say water from stone.
Really?
Just to try to squeeze the water from a stone.
Right, okay. We talk about squeezing blood from a stone when it's
Blood? Really?
for when it's an impossible task. You know.
Yes, right. Blood from a stone.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Good. We're going to get our dinner this evening. I'm very pleased about this.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
The point is, she's thinking where to put her king, but is there any difference?
Well, there is a difference because king c3 protects the pawn.
Yes, but I play rook c1.
No, I think you move your king. Play king e4. That's
I mean
the whole
here.
point. Because
Sorry.
if you go king c3, rook c1, I can play king b2 then. That's the difference. So the point is with here that you're not actually, you don't want to check because this one you're losing a pawn.
Rook d1.
Rook d1, rook takes c6.
Right, right.
I've stolen a tempo, and that is not recommended. That's in fact rather nasty. So you can lose if you're just if you're dopey, you know, just.
Of course. If you fall asleep for a moment and you relax too much, and you even can lose this game.
Yeah.
By white.
But I think king e4 should be good enough. Bring the king closer to the pawns. Now you're even.
If I give you.
You're even.
Yes, no check.
Yeah, you can play rook
sorry?
d6. You can play.
If I play like this.
Yeah, king d5. King d5.
All right, and you go here.
Yeah, it's not checkmate.
No checkmate. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. So.
It's a draw. It's coming.
Let's see which move she will prefer.
I'll have a bet on a draw here. I can't bet we're in the university, so I know no alcohol, no casino. So
no casino, right? So, what position do we have finally? Is this one with a check? Yes. Somewhere.
Yeah.
But
rook d1 check.
Rook d1 check.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't see it.
Okay, so enter it.
No. this one.
So she
Right.
can't.
She played king c2.
Yeah, okay, so that's forcing at least.
King c2.
Well, there's not too much to think about here.
And here you proposed to take on d4, rook b4, and the pawn endgame is drawish.
Yes. It's not even drawish, it's
She
drawn.
took
It's drawn.
drawn,
Yeah,
just drawn.
yeah.
So rook b4. So Nigel, tomorrow you are going a great partner here who will stay with you for the rest of the event. So
You know, I'm quite heartbroken to lose you. But
well, that's
but,
life.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But anyway, yeah. No, honestly, seriously speaking, I'm thrilled to have Hou Yifan. And,
Yes, she's one of the greatest chess
yeah,
players
no,
in the history.
She's great, and I like her a lot. She's a great person to have around, and she will talk with experience about you know what it is to play for the World Championship, and she'll have insights in particular about Zhu Wenjun, which the rest of us don't possess. So I think it will be an honour and a privilege to be working, you know, alongside her and hear what she has to say.
And how was her studies in Oxford? Did you speak to her during this period?
I think I did see her. I mean, I don't actually live in the UK. That's one of the things. But
Yes.
obviously, I'm British, and I do go there. I do go to the UK pretty often. So I have, you know, have seen her there. So yeah, where did I see her? And she was telling me about handing in her thesis. I mean, it seemed to be very long. You know, I mean, they're not short. These essays that you do.
Right.
But hopefully now she'll be playing some more chess back into things. She played now. Where was that in? Was it in Xi'an? I think it was in Xi'an.
There was a Russia-China friendship match.
Oh, it was a Russia-China match.
Yes, she played against Fedosiev, right?
Ah, right. So
Yes, and there was
a women's event.
There was a
wasn't
women's
there?
event
That's in Xi'an.
after this.
Yeah,
Rapid.
Wasn't it in Xi'an, in the Terracotta Warrior place?
I don't remember
yeah,
where.
I think it was.
In China there was this match, and yes,
Yeah.
and then later there was a women's big event, and she won it. Alexandra Kostynyuk took the second place, right? So maybe.
You're very well informed, but you have to be. It's your job, isn't it?
That's my main job.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Here I am, an amateur.
A good amateur. Very good.
This is the position you showed us
Yeah.
some minutes ago.
Yeah.
So
It's a question of whether b4 will be played, and it may be.
looks like Alexandra can account this game as favor, right? Because she was worse, so she managed to defend it.
Yeah,
so
I think she.
That's a plus.
I think she defended rather well, actually, having got, you know, a slightly stinky position at some moment, I thought she played excellently. So,
So do you think that such a draw would upset Jun?
a little bit. A little bit. I think we're going to get a repetition here.
Yes. Repetition and a handshake. Or before.
Yeah. Yeah. Here we're coming. They don't look terribly thrilled, do they? I mean, they're not sort of on the edge of their seats with excitement at this point. It's
Not the most important, not the most interesting position.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
And sometimes, when I look at this, I'm thinking, why are they writing down the moves? Why do you have a score sheet when we've got the camera?
so they agreed.
Yeah. Tablas. Nul. Nietzsche. Draw.
Nietzsche. That's a draw.
Yeah.
So the score is still equal.
Let me.
And I think that we are going to see the score on the board, or at least it's 3.5 and 3.5,
Yep.
3.5, 3.5. So tomorrow Alexander will play with
Yep.
black.
Yep. And please join me. I was going to say us, but please join me tomorrow, and at least you have a worthy replacement.
How fun! It's just great. It was such a luck to invite her here.
Yeah, and she's doing some other events as
yes,
well.
She will give a simul, she will give a master class, so
Great.
she will be a real star here. So it will attract many local chess players, as well as you're taking part in this event.
Yeah, no, it's great. So it's going down to the wire, this match, for 5 games remaining, and well, maybe somebody will suddenly burst through, but
Yes. Now we can see the results.
yeah. Where is the 7th game there? I don't see round 7. Oh, there it is. A little.
Everything is under control.
Everything, yeah. The graphics are working well, and we look forward to seeing you then at 3:30 Vladivostok time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.